A couple questions I get asked a lot are, if they do the exchange, they have to put all the 100% of the funds from the exchange down. So if they want to buy a house and they're got $200,000 in proceeds, can they keep 50 of it to upgrade the kitchen, or they have to put the full $200,000 down?
Yeah. Whenever I'm talking to someone for the first time who's never done an exchange before, I kind of want to go over what we call in our industry the equal or greater rules. Because one of the requirements to be fully deferred is that you need to buy a property for equal or greater value to what you're selling for minus your closing costs, reinvest all the net proceeds, and then if there's any mortgage that was on the sale property that was paid off at the closing, we have to replace that as well. Now, with that being said, 1031 is not an all or nothing proposition. We do have exchangers that want to do a partial 1031, where maybe, like you said, they want to take out 50,000. So maybe at the closing of the sale property, they decide to take $50,000 out before the funds come over to us, or maybe there's exchange funds left over in our account, and that's perfectly fine. We refer to that as a partial exchange, and they can defer some tax and pay some tax. There was one other thing you brought up, Ryan, was the maybe they want to keep some money out to make improvements, right? And that's perfectly fine. We do also have the ability to do what's called an improvement exchange. It's a little bit more involved and probably more than we'll get into here on this call. But it allows someone, if they were doing a large amount of improvements, let's say they're selling for 500,000, buying for 400,000, and they want to use $100,000 of exchange proceeds to do improvements, we do have what's referred to as an improvement exchange. And it's kind of like the reverse, where we'll go on title to that new property. And while we're on title to it, that's when our exchanger is getting those improvements done. So they're requesting draws from us, and those are going out to a contractor. One of the most challenging things with that, though, is the timeline, right? They got to get the improvements they want to get done and get credit for it within the 180 days. But, Ryan, with you being in the lending side of things, you're super important in a 1031 exchange, right? Because a lot of times people have that misconception that when they sell the property and there's a loan on the property and that gets paid off, that they don't have to replace it. But they do. They have to buy for equal or greater value. So if 250,000 went to pay off a loan and we're only holding 250 from a $500,000 sale, doesn't change the rule. They got to figure out, hey, what am I going to do? I got to come up with that extra 250 that was paid off. So typically what they're doing is they're getting another loan on the purchase side.